The Academy ship Horizon glided through the void as a floating institution of learning built by the United Earth Fleet. The vessel carried young minds from distant colonies who wished to study advanced arts, sciences, and interspecies exchange. Its halls echoed with languages from dozens of worlds, yet one sector remained mostly quiet. That was the performance wing, where music students trained in sonic disciplines that reached far beyond human tradition. Among these students walked a small girl named Lena. She kept her steps light and her eyes low because she felt unsure of her place on a ship filled with confident voices. Lena had arrived from a fringe settlement where instruments were rare. Her acceptance into the academy stunned even the local administrators who had reviewed her modest application. She had never studied music in any formal sense. Yet something in her submission, a small handwritten note about her fascination with sound, had caught the attention of the academy board that teachers monitored her with careful interest from the moment she arrived. Some believed she carried untapped ability, while others assumed she would struggle. None of them expected that her first lesson would ignite a chain of events that would shape the diplomatic future of humanity. Lena stood at the threshold of the piano chamber on her first day. The chamber held instruments adapted to function aboard a starship where gravity and atmospheric pressure shifted during maneuver cycles. The pianos were deep-toned hybrids with reinforced frames and resonance modules that responded even to the faintest vibration. Lena touched the doorway panel and entered quietly. Inside, Instructor Hall waited with a calm expression. He was an old teacher who had served on Horizon for decades. His eyes followed her with an intensity that bordered on scrutiny. He spoke in a measured voice. He asked her to sit at the piano in the center of the room. Lena obeyed and lowered herself onto the bench. She had never touched such an instrument. The smooth keys reflected the faint blue glow of the chamber lights. She hesitated as she placed her fingers on the surface. Instructor Hallway watched in silence. He wanted to test her potential. The board had asked him to challenge her directly. They wanted a clear answer to whether the girl deserved her placement. They wanted to know if there was truth in her note where she described sound not as noise or melody, but as living shape. Hawley believed no child should face her on the first day, yet he also respected the responsibility placed upon him. He asked her to play any pattern that came to her mind. Lena inhaled slowly. She feared embarrassment more than anything. She feared making a mistake or striking a discordant tone. She feared that the instructor would send her back to registration and declare that someone had admitted her by error. Her hands trembled over the keys. Then she remembered the silence of her home settlement. She remembered the nights she listened to wind flow through old mining ducts and create accidental harmonies. Those memories calmed her. Her hands lowered. The first note rang out with a warmth that surprised Instructor Hall. The resonance module brightened. The tone carried across the room like a wave that held purpose. Lena struck another note, then another. A pattern emerged. A slow rising contour shaped by instinct rather than training. Highlight something shift. The girl did not play like a beginner who pressed keys without awareness. She played like someone who sensed the inner design of sound and shaped it through emotion. Halle stepped closer without realizing it. Lena continued to play a melody that no human composition had ever written, yet it felt ancient and familiar. When the final note faded, the chamber remained still. Lena kept her eyes on the keys in fear. She wondered if she had done something wrong. Instructor Halle exhaled softly. He told her to stand. She rose with uncertainty. Halle then activated the communication panel and sent an urgent message to the board. Within minutes, the chamber filled with faculty members. They asked Lena to play again. Halle gave her an encouraging nod. She repeated the melody. The faculty listened with growing astonishment. One of the alien instructors from the neighboring sector stepped forward. He was a tall being from the Trinari species, whose culture valued sonic architecture. His hearing extended across multiple harmonic layers. He asked if Lena would permit him to analyze the resonance flow produced by her playing. Lena agreed nervously. The Trinari instructor activated his sensory device. When Lena played, the device displayed intricate harmonic structures unheard in human compositions. They resembled patterns documented in ancient Trinari archives, describing lost forms of sonic communication once used for interstellar diplomacy. The instructor realized that Lena had intuitively accessed intervals aligned with their ancestral signal. Language.word spread across the academy. Students whispered that the quiet human girl played music that resonated with alien history. Teachers debated the meaning of her talent. Some argued that she must have studied privately. Others believed she possessed an innate cognitive ability rare among humans. None could deny that her skill held significance. The United Earth Fleet maintained fragile alliances with several interstellar species. Among the most delicate was the accord with the Trinari, whose society valued harmony not as metaphor, but as cosmic law. Their ancestors had once communicated through complex sonic structures that echoed across space. They viewed music as a gateway to diplomatic truth. Yet no human had ever replicated or understood their layered harmonics. Lena had done it without training. The faculty decided to give her advanced lessons. Each test grew more challenging. They monitored how she responded to altered gravity fields, shifted resonance conditions, and variable chamber compositions. Every time she sat at the piano, she produced new patterns that adapted to the environment with uncanny sensitivity. Haldo watched with pride as she grew more comfortable. Yet he also sensed the weight placed upon her. The board asked him to push her harder. They wanted proof that her ability could benefit humanity. Lena never complained. She felt a strange connection to the instrument. She believed the piano spoke to her through vibration, and she responded in kind. She did not think of it as talent. She thought of it as listening. One morning, Horizon received a signal from a Trinari diplomatic vessel. The envoy requested a formal meeting with the Academy. They had detected unusual harmonic pulses during the ship's recent training cycles. The pulses bore resemblance to ancestral diplomacy sequences. The Trinari wished to understand the source. The Academy board panicked. They feared misunderstanding. They called Instructor Hale immediately. Lena stood beside him as the board revealed the situation. She felt a chill rise through her chest. She had not known her playing carried outside the chamber. The resonance modules must have broadcast subtle patterns into the surrounding hull, where they traveled through the ship's structural fields. The board declared that Lena must perform for the Trinari envoy. They believed her ability might improve relations or at least satisfy the envoy's curiosity. Hale argued that she was still a child and should not shoulder diplomatic burden. The board insisted. They claimed the moment presented a rare opportunity for humanity. Lena felt fear return. She remembered how nervous she had been on her first day. Now she faced a task far greater than impressing a teacher. She worried about disappointing an entire species. Hale placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. He promised she would not face the task alone. The day of the meeting arrived. The envoy ship docked with Horizon. Through the observation windows, students watched as the Trinari delegation entered the docking bay. Their movements were graceful and fluid, as though directed by internal rhythm. They carried ceremonial instruments that resonated softly. The Academy gathered in the grand hall. Lena stood before the piano at center stage. Hal remained by her side until the moment she sat. The hall lights dimmed. Only the soft glow of the instrument remained. The Trinari delegation settled into their arranged seats. Their sensory devices activated to detect harmonic structure. Lena took a deep breath. She closed her eyes. She remembered the wind harmonies of her home. She remembered her first note. She began to play. The melody rose gently through the hall. Then it expanded in complexity as Lena listened to the subtle resonance loops in the room. She adapted each phrase to match the harmonic reactions. The Trinari delegates leaned forward. Their devices showed intricate patterns that aligned with long-lost diplomatic sequences. Lena's performance activated dormant memories encoded in Trinari cultural archives. The hall vibrated with quiet reverence. Humans and Trinari alike sensed something profound. Lena bridged two species through pure instinct. When the final note faded, the Trinari envoy stood. He approached Lena with measured steps. He asked her how she learned their ancestral structure. Lena answered honestly. She said she did not learn it. She simply felt it. The envoy considered her words carefully. He turned to the board and announced that the Trinari recognized in Lena a harmonic ambassador. He offered to begin new diplomatic exchange programs centered on sonic communication. He thanked Lena for restoring a part of their heritage. The Academy erupted in applause, though Lena remained quiet. She felt relief that the meeting ended peacefully. Halle walked to her and offered a proud nod. He told her she had done more than perform. She had helped two species understand each other. Weeks passed. Lena became a symbol of interstellar cooperation. She continued training under Halle and the Trinari instructor. Her ability expanded as she explored deeper harmonic structures. She began composing pieces designed to unify different sonic traditions aboard Horizon. Students from distant worlds gathered to listen. Some said her music conveyed emotion beyond spoken language. Human leadership soon contacted the Academy. They invited Lena to perform at a summit between United Earth Fleet and Trinari Command. Halle asked her if she wished to accept. The choice was hers. She agreed with quiet determination. She wanted her sound to carry hope. At the summit, leaders from both species listened as Lena played. Her melodic structure balanced human warmth with Trinari precision. It resonated through the chamber like a bridge made of living sound. The summit concluded with renewed treaties and shared research agreements. Officials credited Lena for inspiring trust. After the event, Halle spoke with her privately. He told her that her journey began with a simple note she had written for her application. He said the teachers had tested her on purpose because they wanted to understand who she was. Yet she had taught them far more than they had taught her. She had shown them that talent often hides in unlikely places. Lena smiled gently. She still felt small in a galaxy filled with grand civilizations. Yet she also understood that sound carried power, even when born from quiet beginnings. She returned to Horizon to continue her studies not as a prodigy to be displayed, but as a student who wished to grow. The Academy ship resumed its voyage through the stars. In the performance wing, Lena sat at her piano once more. She touched the keys with calm confidence. When she played, the ship felt lighter. The crew felt steadier. The galaxy felt closer. Humanity often sought greatness in technology and conquest. Yet in this moment, greatness emerged through harmony. Lena proved that humans could reach across cultures, not with weapons or commands, but with understanding shaped by sound. Her melody continued to echo through the decks. It carried a message that every being understood. It said that even in the vast silence of space, connection could bloom from a single note.